So we've got these tools, sanding sweeps. So I thought we'd just run through a bit of a video, a few different ways how these things are used. What they come down to is a sweep is just a giant radius gauge. So we can use these to check and measure for our repairs. We use these for sanding as well. So we'll just run through a couple of different ways how to use them. So we've got this guard here on this little BMW E30. You can see it's got a bit of damage. It's got some little sticky outy tyres, caught a lip. So it needs some repair. And something like this, you know, it's a pretty straightforward repair, but we can do it better. We can make it more accurate. This here is effectively, it's a radius or it's an arc. So we can use something to make it correct, mark it out exactly where we want. This detail line right here that runs through, it's been flattened off, this lip's pulled out. So obviously we need to turn this edge back over and get this crease back in. Where is it? Where do we need that crease to be? Well, this is where we can use one of the sweeps. So if we just pull a random one out of the box here, we go to line it up, you can see that totally doesn't match. It doesn't match that radius at all, so we need a tighter one. Try something a lot tighter. Try this one. That's too much, too tight. So let's try again. Try in the middle. Let's go here. All right, this is getting better. So if we line this up now with this wheel arch, right around there, it matches the crease. It's a little bit shallow. One more. There we are, bang on. You can see there, that matches that wheel arch perfectly. It also matches the crease in the sheet metal right up here. So now we know our 400 is the right tool to work on this repair. So right here, you can see here all the paint's lifted from where the tyres caught the edge. So to do this repair, we want to strip all this paint off, get into our metalwork, and we know our 400 is the correct guide to get that wheel arch perfect. So it's going to match that opening of the wheel arch right there, get that radius to pull this edge back down, and then when it comes time to address this crease, we've got a template, we've got a guide to come and mark that out to get that shape to flow through this section perfectly. So we just got this front guard or fender for the US guys sitting on the bench, and we've got that real typical wheel arch again, the same as on the BMW over there, you know, really defined surfaces. We've got 3 clearly defined surfaces that all have this big sharp crease. Now when it comes time to sand these, you know, square traditional blocks don't necessarily get in here that easily. However, with the sweeps, we can use this as a sanding tool, and that will come right up into that bottom corner there and match the profile of that flare. Means we can work that whole area. We step it down in size, we can use this one. We'll be able to use this to come and sand through that section of the wheel arch, and then we step it even tighter, and that one there will actually give us the crease. That gives us the radius of that wheel arch right around. So if we did want to come and sharpen this line, we actually grab a pencil, trace that through, and give us an exact profile to sand to. Yep. All right, so how do we use these things to sand? Well, firstly, obviously we need sandpaper. So we can start by a bit of sticky sandpaper. Simply just chuck the sweep on top, cut the excess off. All right, now we need a handle, bit of masking tape. Now we've just converted our sweep or our profile gauge into a sanding tool for that fender. So you can see now with this sweep as a sanding tool, it's given us the ability to go right up into that corner quite tightly. I'm just picking up some real subtle imperfections right on that edge. So let's keep going a little bit more, get some of those out, then work up onto the next one. So we've got that main section sanded with the bigger sweep, and now we've moved on to a smaller diameter sweep to do the wheel arch, and we can just work on this surface right up into that corner again. So we've just quickly sanded both of these two sides here. You know, primer on you is quite thin, but clearly you can see exactly how much the sweep's shown us up. It's got these big high spots here, a real big one there, taking the primer right through to steel, and then we've got these little dark areas where the guide coat still is. That's our low spot. But within a matter of, I don't know, 20 seconds of sanding, just this strip, the sweep has just shown us exactly what needs to occur to get this wheel arch perfect. And finally, we use these things to mark out. So on this fender, again, similar to the E30 one, we've got this real sharp crease, you know. Hasn't been damaged, but it's got primer on, and we want to sharpen that up. We've sanded the flare, now we need to sand the flat. What we can do is mark out a really crisp line. That's exactly where we want it. So we've found our sweep that matches our wheel arch, this one here. We get that right up on the edge, exactly where we want that sharp line. Trace this off nice and carefully. Like that, and gives us a crisp pencil line. So as we're sanding these two surfaces, we know exactly where they need to meet and get a nice sharp edge. So as these are a profile gauge or a radius gauge, they're great for checking the surface. You can see that this door here has had a really bad repair. It's got a weld right down through the middle. There's a big dollop of lead up here. It's had a repair up here. There's dents, right? But this needs to be a consistent profile all the way down its length. So we've grabbed this one here, the number 1000. We can find right on the edge of the door through this center section right here, where it's pretty good. And what you want to do is check this down through the length, and we can see how much the profile changes through this door and just how much metal work would be required to get a consistent profile back into it. So sanding sweeps, that's it. You know, we went through a few different ways how to use them, how you can benefit with your bodywork. All we do is make specialty bodywork tools. You know, we make these things ourselves. All we do is deal in tools for making perfect bodywork. So if you guys want more information on how to use them, how they're used, what we do, you know, do a comment, send us a message, let us know what you think. Other than that, you know, see you next time.